Welcome to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm your host, Joy Taylor. On today's show, Carson Wentz and Dak Prescott are coming off impressive weekends. Which young quarterback has a brighter future? Plus, there's been more bad news on the injury front for the Giants. And will the reunited LeBron James and Dwayne Wade combine to win another ring this season? Skip, Shannon, let's get to it. Carson Wentz and the Eagles moved to 4-1 after blowing out the Cardinals Sunday. Wentz threw for over 300 yards with 4 touchdowns in the win. The Eagles are now 2 games ahead of the Cowboys, who lost to the Packers on Sunday despite a big day from Dak Prescott. Dak threw 3 touchdowns and ran for another in the loss. We're joined by Fox NFL analyst Michael Vick. Michael, welcome. Good morning.
Uh-oh, he's on the hot seat on this question.
Oh, right.
This is a tough one.
Who will be the better quarterback, Wentz or Dak?
Oh, man, this is tough. Just to be honest, I think Dak Prescott, as of right now, I would say, and I would justify why I say Dak, and I would talk a little bit about Carson Wentz, but Dak has played in some big games up until this moment. They have felt almost like playoff games, and those are experiences that he'll be able to draw on down the road. Now, Carson, he's been week to week. You know, we kind of critiquing him every week to see exactly what he do, how he improves, so all eyes are on him. We want the good visual. But I just think Dak has been under some highly pressure situations so far, and down the road it will help him. Now, the Philadelphia Eagles fans will have to go easy on Carson Wentz because that can be a reason why young quarterbacks don't develop as well.
You know how that feels.
So I'm throwing that out there because I experienced it. But, Dak, they'll continue to build around him. They'll continue to build an offensive line. He'll have receivers. Ezekiel Elliott will be there for years to come. So, I would say Dak Prescott right now, in part to all the games that he's been in, that's really helped him, up until this point, and will help him down the road moving forward.
I got to shake this man's hand for his objectivity,
and his
honesty, and his wisdom. And it's over. Case closed. You don't even get to speak.
I don't have any problem with being on Shannon's Island. I don't mind being by myself, Joy. I got my hut, got my tub up, I got my beverages. I'm going Wentz. For the simple fact is that when he gets the Dak protection like Dak got last year, you see his production. You saw 4 touchdowns because Lane Johnson, I mentioned, when Lane Johnson plays, 19 touchdowns, 5 picks. When Lane Johnson doesn't play, 7 touchdowns, 12 picks. When he knows he's going to be protected, not only on his backside, because Jason Peters got this thing on lock, but Lane got this now. He's in concussion protocol, so it's looking iffy so he might be in for a tough night against Carolina. But we know what Cam did to the Cowboys a couple of years ago. But anyway, I like Carson Wentz for the simple fact, Skip, he's as athletic. I know we don't think only white quarterback that's athletic is Aaron Rodgers, like none of the rest of them can run. We think of all of them like Tom Brady, but that's not the case.
I think Trubisky can run a little bit, but go ahead.
You can.
But Carson Wentz is very athletic. I believe his arm is better. And the weapons, I don't think his weapons, I think they're up there. They're better than what they were last year. And the pressure that he's up under, when somebody moves up, kind of like when the Atlanta Falcons moved up, you knew you were up under pressure. You're like, look at what they gave up to get me. Oh, I got to come in here. I got the ball. And then he went to Philly. Man, they booed Santa Claus.
They did.
Now, if they boo Santa Claus, if you ain't wheeling and dealing that quarterback up there, they're going to boo you out the building. So with that being said, because this is what we know, Skip. Everything else we can get, we think. When Zeke Elliott was the focal point, Zach had, how many touchdowns did Dak have? And how many interceptions? Now that they've shut Zeke down, and now the offense is shifted more towards Dak Prescott, what's your number looking like, Skip?
Which number?
You know what number.
You mean the 4?
Wins and losses.
Oh, I thought you meant the interceptions.
Yeah, how many interceptions he threw?
He's thrown 4, and Shannon Sharpe, the Hall of Famer, explained to me that the 2 at Denver were not Dak's fault. And I guarantee you the one Sunday that hit T-Won't right in the hands was not Dak's fault.
You mean to tell me a guy that played 16 games last year, had 4 picks, and now here we are 5 games into the season?
He has 1. I give you the one against the Rams. It was a bad idea.
Last week was,
Yeah.
I mean,
Thank
that was
you.
He threw it too hard. threw it too hard.
He did not throw it too hard. It's perfect
that determined
speed.
the outcome of the game.
Yeah, look at him laughing. He knows it. It was the whole game. It's a one-play game.
Yeah.
He goes right. He doesn't just drop it. He muffs it so bad, it goes right to Randall, who just walks into the end zone. The game's over. That's it.
Well, see, Carson Wentz got that getting at the Rodgers thing where he just like a long handoff. Them 15-yard completion like long handoff. You know, that stretch, that Peyton Manning zone, that long stretch.
Did you just compare Carson Wentz to Aaron Rodgers?
Nope.
Is that what you...
Nope.
I mean, it's awesome because these guys have so much potential and the ceiling is so high. It's
And they're
hard
right
to
there in the same
determine
division.
who's going to be better, you know, right now at the young age. But I just think, you know, the things we know we're going to get out of Dak every week, and he's been so
Lost the last
consistent,
couple of
so
weeks.
polished. But I know he's going to play consistent football. He's going to look good doing it. He's going to make some plays, and Carson is doing the same thing. So I'm proud of both of those guys, and I think they're playing good football.
This question is making me increasingly more angry because it is outrageous how this league, how everybody in this league, executives, personnel directors, scouts, they're all on the Wentz bandwagon because they were on it before the draft. So now they're saying, see, I told you so. And I'm saying, see what? Because all I can see is that Dak Prescott is just clearly to me better than Carson Wentz. He is now, he will be next year, and he will be 5, 7, 10 years from now. Dak Prescott is really good and really, really does not get the credit for being really good. All he did against Aaron Rodgers was play the best game of his career, and it's been some career so far. He lost the game because he has a bad defense without its leader, its quarterback, its driving force, Sean Lee, and it was down a corner. Did you play with Nolan Carroll? I can't believe in Philly. Was he there?
No, he wasn't there.
He wasn't there. But again, he started the last 2 years for the Eagles.
Yeah.
He couldn't go. So you're down to a rookie corner who's 5 feet 10 inches tall, trying to guard 6 foot 2 inch.
That you've been
Devontae
hyping up
Adams.
all offseason.
I like him a lot, but
he's
he's a rookie, and you can't throw him into the fire against Aaron Rodgers and a guy who's 4 inches taller and Devontae Adams for the play of the game.
Well, what the hell? You thought he was going to grow 4 inches at the start of the season?
Well, he made the first play. He swatted that ball away.
Well, we forget they had a chance to win the game. They just scored too early. They just left Aaron
scored
Rodgers
with a minute
too much
and 13.
time.
Yeah,
Other than
Dak
that,
did it.
It's a different outcome.
Dak kept it. And by the way, you want to talk about running with the football? Dak this year has already run. Is this possible that he's run? Let me get this
16.
right. 16 for 126 yards. That's 8 yards a carry. So he gets no credit for that.
Okay, well,
His QBR, he led in QBR the whole year as a rookie last year, over Brady, over Matt Ryan, till the last game at Philly when they just mailed it in and it hurt his QBR just enough that he fell just ticked down to third. And now he's second in QBR to Deshaun Watson, who's been a revelation so far, and he's 4 slots ahead of Carson Wentz. It's 80 to 70, but all I hear is, Carson Wentz is better. He's got the long-term ceiling. And every time I watch Carson Wentz, this is just me. I know you don't want to get the Philly fans all over you, but I see a guy who goes deer in headlights sometimes. I don't see the moxie. I don't see the feel. He makes me nervous sometimes in big pressure situations, while Dak makes me nothing but comfortable. His body language is, I got this. I'm in control. I'm going to have the poise and the playmaking to get us out of the hole. And again on the road against Aaron Rodgers last year, against Ben in Pittsburgh, against Philly in overtime, head-to-head. It was a 63 QBR to 43 for Carson Wentz. He just makes play after play after play, but nobody gives him credit. I don't get it. Because he's a 4th-round pick?
And you say Dak is such a winner. Can you tell me what Dak and the Cowboys' record is in the last 6 games? Dating back to last year's playoff in the first 5 games this year.
They went 13-3 and won 11 in a row last year.
I just want to know, Mike, do you know their last 6 games, what the Cowboys' record is? That winner? That winner that you call?
Oh, is that the slice that determines your career?
I'm just asking you a question.
How did he play against Aaron Rodgers in the playoff game? Help me out.
Did they win or lose?
Did he throw for 300+ in the playoff game? Was it 31 all?
Michael Vick, you know this very well. You played quarterback. How many years you played?
13.
13. You go to the stadium. Now, if you're the visitors, you either get on the bus and it has an L or it has a W. Now, if you
this is
home,
all you got.
No, I'm talking to Michael. I'm talking to Michael.
I got a question. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Talk to Michael.
No, go ahead.
If you're the home team, you getting your knife, you suited and booted, you dressed to the nine.
Looking good.
You get in your car. It either has an L or a W on the side. I just want to know, in that playoff game last year, what type of car did Dak get in? Was it a winning Mercedes or a losing Mercedes?
They had a chance.
A chance? So you mean tell me I got a chance with Nicole Murphy?
I got a question for you,
What you want?
old Murphy across from me. In Carson Wentz's career as starting quarterback,
Yes.
help me out. What's his overall record? That's what we're going to take to the bank. What's his overall record?
Should be like 11 and
10.
11 and 10.
11 and 10.
Yeah.
That's only one game above 500.
Yeah.
Okay, what's Dak's overall record as a starting quarterback? See, 13 and 3, but we'll give you 13 and 4. He did lose that game,
Yeah.
and now he's 2 and 3, so 15 and 7. Wait, you're going to take to your bank 15 and 7 to your losing Mercedes? Is that what you're going to take?
Hey.
15 and 7 versus 11 and 10? I think I'll take.
Okay, what about the last 6 games? Can we break it up in
What's
quarters?
it matter about
hey,
the
you
last
need to
6
stop
games?
calling me. My name is Shay Sharpe. Don't call me Shannon
I
Murphy.
thought it
yet.
was Shay Murphy.
Hey, if she needs somebody to cook, they call you boy Buddy Crocker. I'll make a mean flapjack. What?
You do it on the stove.
Boy, they call me Buddy Crocker.
Just to do it all.
Buddy Crocker, you can't cook?
And Nicole Murphy say she want pancakes. She getting pancakes.
You eat hummus and grilled chicken every day.
Joy, it's amazing what Google. You get on Google, it'll tell you how to make French toast, pancakes. But I make a mean. Ooh, ask my brother. French toast and pancakes. Your boy got that down.
You don't eat that.
I know, but I can.
I don't know.
That's what she wants.
Oh, okay.
I'm doing
but
this
if you
for
don't eat
her.
it, how do you know it tastes good?
This thing gonna taste good. Old buddy Lee Crocker over here.
Yeah, who validated that?
No mercy.
On Sunday, Hall of Fame quarterback Y.A. Tittle passed away at the age of 90. He was the focal point of one of the most famous photographs in football history. Skip, I know you have some thoughts on his passing.
I do. Indulge me a quick personal story, if you will. I never even saw Y.A. Tittle play. I only know that classic picture. He's on his knees, blood dripping down his face. And yet, in a crazy, fateful way, Y.A. Tittle is the reason I'm sitting here right now. Sophomore year in high school, Northwest Classic High School, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, largest school in the state. I wind up in an English class that's taught by the journalism teacher. First day of school, she says, I want everybody in here to write me a one-page book report because I want to see if you can write. So I go to the library, I'm a sports nut, looking up in the stacks, and I see Y.A. Tittle. I think, I'll read his biography, pull it out, take it home. And you know me, I didn't just write a book report. I wrote a book review, and I shredded this book because it was terrible. It was weak. It was shallow. I didn't learn anything from it, but I wrote it in one page, turned it in, didn't think twice about it. End of the week, Mrs. Burdett was her name. Scary lady. She calls me up to class. All my friends are looking at me. Calls me up at the end of class. You know, they're saying, "Are you in trouble?" She says, "You are coming into journalism because you can write." And I'm thinking, I don't know how to write. My parents, I don't think they even got out of high school. My father was a disaster. He had left by then. My mom was a wreck. And I'm thinking, I thought I was going to play sports. At that point, I was a really good baseball player. I lettered that year at Northwest, which was rare for a sophomore. And I told her, I play sports. She said, you're coming into journalism. I said, well, how? And she said, you will write about the teams you're playing on.
Right.
So I start writing sports columns my sophomore year in high school about teams I'm playing on. And sometimes I would be critical of the coach in the school paper.
Yeah.
I did. Of my baseball. My senior year, I ripped the baseball coach while I was playing for his team because we were struggling.
Did you finish the year on the team?
He let me finish, but he would not speak to me after that. So my point is, God rest the soul of Y.A. Tittle. God rest the soul of Mrs. Burdett, because of those two and that connection, I got into this business.
Wow.
Thank you.
And I might be the guy to push you out. You get tired of beat. You
Maybe.
get tired of me beating on you every day for the next 10
You know what?
years.
I'm feeling good right now.
Yeah.
Oh, you feeling good? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the team that he used to play for, the Giants. They fell to 0-5 on Sunday, and yesterday they found out Odell Beckham Jr. and Brandon Marshall will both miss the rest of the season with ankle injuries. Shannon, who is the most to blame for this terrible Giants season?
I'm going to start with Jerry Reese because can't blame injury. I'm going to start with Jerry Reese in his inability to put an offensive line in front of Eli Manning. I know what you put outside. You went and got Brandon Marshall. You drafted Evan Ingram in the first round. So you tried to give Eli the weapons that he would need. But what good is the weapons if he doesn't have time to get the ball off to get it to those weapons? Andrew Whitworth was available. He's probably the best free agent tackle that was on the market. you probably should have overbid
Yep.
to try to lure him there. Eric Flowers has been a disaster. Like I said, my college coach said, do not go out and recruit offensive linemen. Recruit me all defensive linemen. That way, if they don't make on the defensive side of the football, I can put them on the offensive line. Because if you get an offensive lineman and he doesn't pan out, you got a big-ass equipment manager. And that's all they got with Eric Flowers. But the thing that I love most about Coach Belichick, if he makes a mistake on a guy, he doesn't try to fool everybody like, well, I'm going to move him to right tackle. I'm going to put him at guard. I'm going to do this.
Yep.
I've made a mistake. I'm about to move on. Jerry Reese should just move on from this disaster, but he doesn't want to look bad. I took a guy with a top 10 pick, and he's no longer on the roster, so let's start with him. He's done a terrible job of putting an offensive line in front of Eli to protect Eli. Second, the defense. Skip, I thought this defense would be better than what they were. They went from second in scoring D last year, they're 24th now. Third in rush defense, they're 29th now. That defense is not even comparable because last year the defense really carried them. Eli and Odell can make a play here or there. The defense could hold it down.
Yep.
You can win the ball game. Now the defense is not as dominant as they were last year. Eli cannot even muster on a consistent basis 20 points, hence the 0-5 record. Third, Ben McAdoo. Skip, he might be a good offensive coordinator.
I agree.
But I think he's going to be a lousy head coach.
Overmatched.
And I think because Coach Coughlin's message has started to fall on deaf ears, the Mara and the family thought it was best to go in a different direction. I think there are better candidates that were better suited for this job, but because
Just a quick thought on that. You realize Hugh Jackson had that job,
yes,
and then at the last second, Hugh Jackson said, I just like the management structure better in Cleveland because he likes Sashi Brown, Paul DePodesta, like the owner Haslam. And to me, it was a perfect fit for Hugh to coach that team. He would have taken it up a level.
the thing, most coaches, when you go into a situation, when you're assessing taking a job, Skip, what am I looking at? Quarterback. Because if I don't got him, I'm wasting my time. You got a proven guy in Eli. Now, is he Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady, Drew Brees? No. But you don't have anything close to Eli in Cleveland, but that's neither here nor there. Ben McAdoo might be a great offensive, good to a great offensive coordinator. I don't think he's that as a head coach. And with that being said, there are enough things that would lead to 0-5, and I think you start with Jerry Reese, you start with the defense, and you start with Ben McAdoo, and I think you get exactly what you've gotten, 0-5, and a team that doesn't look like it's going anywhere soon.
So, I hear you about the offensive line. I kind of hear you about the defense. I still think the pieces are in place there. It just hasn't played up to the level.
Right.
It's sort of gotten sucked down the drain like the whole team has. But bottom line to me, I think we've seen two players get old right before your very eyes this year. I think Eli is getting old, and I know Brandon Marshall is getting old. And they're not what they used to be. Eli is going on age 37, I believe, in January, if I got that right. Yep. And to me, and you can speak to this, again, he hasn't been protected, but he also has become, by Eli's standards, so inaccurate that he throws what the Cowboys back in the 80s used to call medicine balls. Danny White would throw medicine balls because he would throw it someplace that was so dangerous for you to try to go get it that you were in harm's way.
Yes.
And I feel like Eli has put his receivers too often in harm's way with slightly off-target passes that even Odell's pass. It was just in a very vulnerable place, right, for him to go up and try to get it and be caught in such a dangerous predicament down low, right? So, to me, again, I look back at Eli's record and I say, if they miss the playoffs this year, which is pretty much a foregone conclusion, that would mean that Eli Manning has been the quarterback of New York Giants teams that have missed the playoffs 7 of the last 9 years, which brings me to the most absurd, preposterous, impossible, surreal fact in the history of the National Football League. Eli Manning beat Tom Brady in 2 Super Bowls and 1 Super Bowl MVP twice. I don't know how it happened. It made Eli. I like Eli personally. We had him on the show in Houston.
Yes.
he's a good guy.
He is.
I think he's got a good heart.
Absolutely.
Sometimes I think he doesn't even know what he's doing out there as far as his mind sort of drifts off, and he grew up as a quarterback because his father and his big brother are quarterbacks,
Ebb
right?
and flow. His heartbeat is the same.
Yeah.
Up by 20 or down by 20.
He doesn't even know what's happening. He's just playing.
Yep.
And yet, if you didn't have those two on your resume, you would not have survived missing the playoffs 7 of 9 times. You'd just be out.
No, he would not. He would have not remained the starting quarterback of the New York Giants.
Yeah.
He probably would have been on his third team.
Probably
by
would
now.
have been.
And Skip, even though he won those Super Bowls, he won those 2 Super Bowls in a 5-year span, I really never looked at Eli as elite. I didn't.
No. So we saw it coming on opening night. You know, as a Cowboy fan, I'm pretty nervous about the game.
Right.
And it was a domination, and it was very misleading because my team wasn't that good, and this team was really bad.
Even worse.
It was even worse. It was terrible, and it was the final score, as you remember, was 19-3.
Right.
Eli's offense scored 3. The offensive line is terrible. Brandon Marshall had a bad night. He had a no night. He just wasn't even involved. And you say, well, this is wrong, that's wrong. Eli was wrong. Even though his numbers look okay that night, his QBR didn't, it was 21, but he's just had another pretty miserable starting quarterback year. Again, but you can always make the excuse, well, he didn't have a running game until last week when finally Darkwa and the kid Gallman got going a little bit, and they did have 152 yards rushing. But in the end, it's about the quarterback who just isn't good enough anymore, and I think he's nearing the end, but I don't know how they're going to cut bait. I just don't know. There's not a successor ready, right?
No.
They drafted that kid, but I don't know if how
And
soon he's going to be ready.
The thing is, Skip, when you look at it, and you look at Eli's numbers, you say he got okay numbers, well, they're always behind in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
And so teams are playing prevent, so you look up, and he might have 20, 25 completions for 280, 300 yards. But if you go to, those are those Blake Bortles stats. You know how Blake Bortles, at the end of the game, they were down 45-14, and you look up, he got 3 touchdowns and 300 yards? Yeah, but he got them in the last 5 minutes of the ball game. And that's what we're seeing for Eli. And I agree, Skip. I don't know where they go from here because they don't have a successor.
I mean, they drafted the Cal kid who's, I don't know. I have no idea.
You going to turn it over to Geno Smith?
I don't know.
I mean, I believe Eli is going to be there at least one more year.
Yep.
They're going to try to get him some help on the offensive line. I mean, you took a guy, last year in the 6th round? But you got to address that. If you got a quarterback, you got to protect him. He's the money in the vault. If you got money in the vault, you don't hire more cashiers. You hire security guards with machine guns to protect the most valuable asset. Well, they just hiring cashiers and like, welcome to Wells Fargo. How you doing? And the guy going right there to the bank, getting the money, and walking right up out of there.
Okay, and to Eli's credit, I thought he was very good early in the playoff game at Lambeau last year without much help from the yacht club that went to South Beach to get ready for the game.
You know they haven't won a game since.
They haven't won a game. Correct.
Take that picture off the internet. You're the one that
bad omen.
You keep it up there.
Which one? Oh, on the yacht?
Yeah.
Oh.
They need to take that picture off because they have not won a game since.
What was Odell wearing? Maybe that was the problem.
He was wearing Tim's. You know what he was wearing.
He was wearing Tim's. What was he thinking? I don't know what he was thinking.
You like the fact that Odell was in South Florida wearing Tim's and jeans on the yacht.
I don't know who let him on the boat with the Tims.
I think he was trying to say, I'm actually trying to get ready for Lambeau in Tim's, on the yacht in South Beach.
And one dude had a flannel tied around his waist. Why would you have a flannel shirt on in Miami at any point in time?
Because you're going to fly back to New Jersey, right?
Yeah. I don't know about all that, Skip.
Well, they got a lot of problems. Odell, Brandon Marshall, and Dwayne Harris are all done for the season, and Sterling Shepard is day-to-day. Big losses this weekend with Jay.
And they go to Denver on Sunday.
Yep. You give me another good.
No mercy.
Next up, Mitchell Trubisky made his debut last night, but the Bears lost to the Vikings 2017. Trubisky finished with 128 passing yards and a touchdown pass. But with over 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter, he threw an interception that led to the game-winning field goal by the Vikings. Let's take a listen to John Fox and Trubisky after the game.
That was basically me trying to do too much, trying to make a play when I just need to know the situation, throw the ball away, and play another down. I just got to do a better job of taking care of the football. So, we just need to work on the little things, really.
He's got what it takes. There's no doubt in my mind. And like I said, it was for our first game. I go back to, watching guys like, Montana in their first game. So I've seen a few of them. I'm not making comparisons at this point, but he's going to do nothing but get better.
Skip, what did you see from Trubisky's debut?
Montana?
He meant to say Trubisky was from Montana, not Joe Montana,
Okay,
or he got a place in Montana.
Okay.
Joe Montana and Mitchell Trubisky should not be mentioned at least for another 15 years, and we'll see what he accomplishes.
John Fox could not help himself.
What did you see from his debut, Skip?
I watched every snap of that game. For a while, it was brutal to watch.
3-2?
It was 3-2 for a long time. I thought I was watching the baseball game, and I did have the baseball game on FS1. But throughout the game, I kept thinking to myself, why didn't the Bears take Deshaun Watson? And then I kept thinking, why didn't the 49ers take Deshaun Watson? And why didn't the Jaguars and why didn't the Jets take Deshaun Watson? I don't know, because it was clear to me that it was Deshaun Watson. And yet I will give you this. He doesn't have, Trubisky right now, a lot of weapons outside. Kendall Wright's about all he's got. He does have a good running game.
Yeah.
And that offensive line, it got beat up last night, but it's been pretty good. But he did make some early throws that made me sit up because I did not see those throws from him last year at North Carolina. And I watched, 4 or 5 games. And it was a team that he had to wait 4 years in school to be the starting quarterback for. 4 years.
And the quarterback that he couldn't beat out
Yeah.
was on the Jets practice squad
Yeah, he was.
at some position other than quarterback.
Yeah,
But,
and that was the guy he couldn't beat out for the 2 years before.
yes.
And that team went 8-5 last year and lost its bowl game, the Sun Bowl, to a Stanford team without Christian McCaffrey, who said, I think I'm going to wait for the draft.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, I just didn't see anything but maybe a 5th-round draft pick.
Right.
And then I was knocked out of my chair pre-draft when the runaway train started rolling up the draft board for Mitchell Trubisky to the top of the Are you kidding me? So, what did I see last night? I saw them score their first touchdown at when it was 3-2 game on a fake punt pass that I don't think I've ever seen. It was over the middle, a pass that scored to the backup running back. Then I saw Trubisky early in the 4th quarter finally break through with his first touchdown pass, which got tipped by the safety back to Zach Miller for a touchdown. And then I saw a 2-point play I'd never seen before. Maybe you'd seen, but it was Trubisky initiated it, but it was an inside reverse that ends up with a pitched outside to Trubisky around the end for a wide open touchdown. I'd never seen that play before. That was sweet, right?
Nice.
Yeah,
well
so he benefited from that. And then late in the game, it was pretty predictable. He forces the ball, and Harrison Smith says, oh, thank you very much. I'll take this, and we will take a chip shot field goal, and we will go home with a narrow victory over our division rival in Chicago. So for the game, he is athletic. You were talking about Carson Wentz.
Yes.
So they rolled him out. 8 of his 25 passes were out of the pocket. So he goes.
Hold up, Skip,
yeah.
you mean to tell me they'll be willing to build an offense around a quarterback?
A rollout quarterback,
okay.
a mobile quarterback.
Never mind, Skip. No.
Yeah, I wonder about that. That's a good point, actually. So he goes 12 for 25 for 128 yards, 1 touchdown, a little lucky, and 1 interception that was not very good. Yeah. And the QBR on a scale of 0 to 100 winds up at 11, which is not very good. Yet the Bears continue to gush and gush and gush about Mitchell Trubisky because they have to. They bet the ranch, man. They went up. They bet the next 5 years on Mitchell Trubisky.
King's ransom.
So a guy in John Fox who never says anything, who works hard not to say anything to the media, he invokes the name of Joe Montana because he's got to try to validate and reinforce what they did with this kid. And wait, you got to. I don't have a big problem with this, although I did look up Joe Montana. He started 1 game. He wasn't the regular starter till his 3rd year.
Yes,
so he started 1 game to Joe for a bad team in his rookie year, and he made it about half the game. He went 5 of 12 for 36 yards, and then DeBerg came in and went 11 of 17 for 135 and finished out the game, and they lost close game at the St. Louis Cardinals, 13-10. So is it sort of 6 of one, half dozen of the other? Just don't do it. Don't do it, John. It's not right.
Because I agree with you. First of all, what are we measuring him against? Mike Glennon? Or are we measuring him against that great lineage of quarterbacks that's come through Chicago? Skip, when you give up what they gave up to get this young man, you better think he's good. You better say all the right things. And I bet you, Skip, if we were to go back and look at 1998, I bet you the GM or the head coach said after Ryan Lee's first start, he's going to get better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He did actually. I remember his first game. It was pretty good.
So, and that's the thing. Look, And I agree with you 100%. It's really hard to judge him because the skill set on the outside of the numbers are not very good. I like Miller. I think Miller is a above average tight end. Now he's not that upper. He's not the Kelsey or that Gronk or the Olsen, Delaney Walker type, but he's a serviceable tight end. He did show his athleticism. They did a great job of putting him on the move. Basically, Darryl Loggins did not call the game for Mitchell Trubisky like he would Mike Glennon. Hence, that's what you're supposed to do if you are a good coach. You cater your system to what the guy does really well. You don't say, well, this is my system. You conform to it. They got their work cut out for them. I don't see them winning a whole lot of games. They surprised the Pittsburgh Steelers because the Pittsburgh was going through a lot of things.
I agree.
There might be a lot more issues going on in Pittsburgh than the anthem.
Yep.
That remains to be seen.
Yep.
But he's in a division. Aaron Rodgers is not going anywhere for the next 5 years. Matthew
Stafford.
Stafford is not going
He's
anywhere
definitely not going anywhere.
for the next 5 to 7 years.
Yep.
Now, Minnesota's a little up in there. Sam Bradford can't stay healthy. That's been his MO, Skip. He can't stay healthy. And for the most part, we know what happens when they bring pressure on Sam Bradford. He folds like a banquet chair at the end of the night.
He did at Oklahoma for all those years.
And he wasn't healthy last night, and he was going down when the wind blew. They did a good thing of getting him out of there because I believe he would have cost them the game. Now, my power went out early. And then when it came back on, it was 3-2. I wish it would have stayed out because I much preferred to be in the dark.
Your power went out?
My power went out, Skip.
Well, I live close to you. Why didn't my power go out?
Well, I thought I didn't pay my bills, and then my sister sent me a thing like, okay, I got zero balance, but it was a power outage underground. So,
you don't have automatic payment on?
Huh?
You don't have automatic payment on?
My assistant takes care of that. I guess we got.
Wait, you were almost overdrawn though?
No. Overdrawn.
Yeah.
You know.
He spent all that money on Miles and Yak now.
Well, what you call it? You know, Nicole Murphy about to get all my little Fox money, Joy. All of that little old money I be getting. Hey, go ahead. Hey, I don't even want no check. You know, when I was growing up, you know, the man worked hard. Friday he get his paycheck. He bring it home and get it to mama. Hey, go ahead and put this in Nicole Murphy's account.
You're dating Nicole Murphy?
Oh, stop it, Skip.
Well, I didn't know that.
Stop putting my business out there on the street.
Things every day on this show that I'm not aware of.
Did you see her the other day, Joy?
Yes, I saw her.
Man, that woman finding the frog here. Good God Almighty, Skip. But I ain't gonna do it though, Skip.
Where what? Did you bring her to Fox?
No. I asked her for an account number. I said I want to put something in your account twice a month.
Really?
For the next 3 years.
Wow.
Maybe she's an independent woman. She doesn't need your money, Shannon.
I mean, everybody needs some money.
I think she makes more than you make. Right?
She probably does.
Yeah, I believe so.
Hey, Healy, Charlie Dixon, Wentz, Shank. I need a raise.
Yeah. You need a raise?
I need a raise.
Because you got to play up in her.
Yeah, baby, Skip. That big old house she got. Woo. I can't even do nothing for her. Maybe buy a purse here and there. That's all I got for her, Joy. I ain't got no money. I can't afford that.
Oh, man.
I don't think she would like the black and mild. I could be wrong.
I'm off them black and mild. I'm throwing all that liquor in the pool.
Well.
Black and mild, I'm throwing everything out. Stocking cap, everything. House shoes, robe. I ain't got nothing going on. What you need? She went, Shannon, I want you to change your last name. My name is Shannon Murphy. I'm changing my name to hers, Joy.
Listen, you got to do what the women wants.
You can't talk to your brother no more. Hey, call
Bye,
him
Sterling.
on the phone.
No mercy.
Let's talk about Aaron Rodgers. He led the Packers to a comeback win in Dallas on Sunday. Rodgers threw 3 touchdown passes, including the game winner to Devontae Adams. Rob Parker is with us. Rob, what did Rodgers prove on Sunday?
That he is the best quarterback we've ever seen. End of story.
Well, you got teed up for that one, didn't you?
I'm
That's like on a
telling you.
silver platter.
No, right
Joy
there.
said, here,
There
Rob,
you go.
go.
And you know this, Skip. Even Tom Brady
I don't
fans,
know this.
I'm not talking about accomplishments.
Right.
I'm just talking about watching this guy perform. I'm ready for the day he's reached legendary status to me. Do you remember the story of Babe Ruth pointing to a spot before he hit a home run?
Yeah.
Did you see what he did
Wrigley
to the
Field, by the way.
right in Chicago, to the DB and with the Cowboys? He threw that same play twice. I'm waiting for the day when Aaron Rodgers points. You. This is where we're going with the ball. And he beats you and delivers the ball to a guy.
So did you have a dream after the game that he pointed?
No, I
at
didn't.
Jordan
I
Lewis?
said I'm waiting for that moment because that's where he is. And the other part, Skip, that I don't care what anybody says that attracts you to Aaron Rodgers as just a player is the swag and confidence he walks around with.
He's like an Oscar gift bag. $50,000 up in there, trip to Tahiti, and say shit.
He has so much swag. I don't know anybody who does not like that guy when you ask people about just watching him play.
That guy right there.
And Skip, it's not only him being able to do it, it's just the way he does his business.
So that game on Sunday at Jerry World, that clinched it. That proved he's the greatest ever, correct?
That game, to me, solidified, excuse me, what I've always been saying for as time and time goes on. I think even Patriots fans looked at that and went,
They said, it's over, he's better than Tom Brady because, wait a second, he beat a pathetic defense at Jerry World, throwing for a grand total of 221 yards.
He only had the ball 25 minutes, Skip, which he always fails to recognize. He didn't even have the ball. He had 7 possessions.
4 touchdowns and a field goal.
A pathetic defense? It wasn't like you were playing the 85 Bears and he shredded them and strutted through it and did championship belt on them.
Can I speak?
No. You're just going to say what he said.
No, I ain't going to say it. I ain't going to say what he said. What I learned. I ain't learned nothing that I didn't already know. Told you.
Oh, that's deep.
I told you. Told you I'd played with some of the greats. You know what, Skip? I was just thinking, I went back and did my research. Do you know in 2001, I played in the Pro Bowl with Peyton Manning and Tom Brady? So if you go back, the guys that I played in the Pro Bowl with, Brady, Manning, Elway, Marino, Kelly, Moon, Montana.
You see them all.
Woo! On the other side, I saw Favre, I saw Aikman, saw some of the greats. They couldn't spin the ball like this, man. They couldn't, Skip. Not consistently.
So are you ready now again to jump off the Brady bandwagon and say that Aaron Rodgers is better like this guy did?
He is, Skip. Nobody could throw the ball like him.
Dan Marino
With
could.
the accuracy
How quickly you forget.
Danny is number 2 on my list. Skip, think about it. I played 10 years with number 7. I played with a Hall of Famer, won 2 Super Bowls.
If number 7 is watching right now, he's just shaking his head.
He's like, hey, T. Wright.
Yeah.
Hey, Skip, this is what I like the best.
Who's T?
That's what we call it. That's what I call John. Hey, I like this when he like this.
Did that.
And he went to the sideline. I told y'all, Rodgers. I told you, that State Farm guy. There was an accident waiting to happen, but he was on the spot, got you covered.
I like that,
What did I tell you last Friday? It was going to be like a State Farm commercial for Aaron Rodgers against that defense. He's going to be joyriding in his pickup truck with his dog right through that defense. Is that not what happened?
Yeah.
Although he managed 221 total yards.
If they'd stopped the run.
You know what's funny about that game?
What's funny?
That QBR, and I really take it to the bank.
we go.
It's really good. But 0 to 100, Dak had a 97. That's the greatest game
won
of
the
his
game?
career. And Aaron Rodgers had a 74. Let's see, 97 to 74. So Dak had 23 more QBR points than Aaron Rodgers. But you guys are now christening him as the greatest, or you're saying he's the greatest of all time. And then I keep looking hard at this resume, and the harder I look, the less I see, because it looks like a dented pickup truck to me. This resume is, I'm saying he's won 1 Super Bowl, which was a long time ago. Wait a second. But it was like almost, 7, 8 years ago? And since then, Aaron Rodgers, the great Aaron Rodgers, is 5-6 in the postseason, and he should be 4-7 because my Cowboys got robbed because of this that happened, because we all know it was a catch. He knows it was a catch.
There we go.
And the Cowboys would have won that, so he should be 4-7 in the postseason since that long ago only Super Bowl. And all Tom Brady did in his last 2 Super Bowls, 2 of the last 3, was play the best fourth quarter we've ever seen a quarterback play in the Super Bowl.
He shouldn't have lost those games.
No.
Right. But here's the thing. So let me get this right. On Sunday, Dak Prescott had 23 more QBR points than Aaron Rodgers, but he had 5 fewer points on the scoreboard. Now, Rob, I know you're a journalist.
Right, I know math is not great.
Which would you rather be?
I think it's about the points.
What about you? You're a journalist.
Right?
Help me out here. Can Dak Prescott play safety? Maybe they should have him go both ways.
Oh, wait a minute. So here we go.
Whoa!
No, wait.
Thank
so
you.
now,
Go ahead.
okay, can I do?
Yeah, go
So
ahead.
you mean the defense that Aaron Rodgers had in the playoffs, which is giving up 40 or more points, like 3 or 4 of those losses you're talking about, you don't blame those on Aaron Rodgers, but you say that that's the reason Dak lost.
He's
Now
the
how is
greatest-
that?
Well, again, who got last bats in the game? Last bats went to Aaron Rodgers against you told me on Monday it's a pathetic Cowboy. Use that word, pathetic. Am I right?
Hold on. But that's what you said against Tom Brady on opening night. Or his defense gave up 42. Right. But when Green Bay gave up 51 to Arizona, Aaron Rodgers got to make that play.
Right.
Now he gave up 33 again to a Cam Newton. But the defense, see, you see what you're doing, Skip?
Clay Matthews still there? What did you tell me about, what's the guy's name? Mike Daniels? I don't know.
Yeah.
Defensive player of the
week? Did he even play Sunday?
I think he played. I think he was eligible. I think he suited up. I don't know. I don't know.
Skip, if you asked really, like, forget about 5 championships to 1. Just talk about if you were. Yeah,
Let's just forget about that.
Because
just
it's
sweep
not
it under the carpet. It doesn't matter. 5 to 1.
You have it right now. If you ask all 32 general managers,
who would you
want right now?
They would take Aaron Rodgers, and you know it.
Would they take him right now?
Right now.
He's 4, 33?
Right now. Not like, right.
They would take him if Tom Brady was 34 right now.
They would.
Yes, they would.
Well, then they'd be wrong.
No, they would not.
Cost themselves a bunch of Super Bowls.
Well, what about that first Super Bowl they should have lost? Adam Vinatieri cooked it. Second Super Bowl, Adam Vinatieri cooked it. So he could have been.
Who set him up? Who drove the ball to set those up?
Tom Brady, we all know, and it has been very fortunate, Skip, and could easily. How could you be the greatest? How could you be the greatest?
He's the most clutch quarterback in the history of football.
When Eli Manning beat you twice. Eli Manning beat Tom Brady twice.
So he's been to 7 Super Bowls. He's won 5 of them, and it took 2 of the luckiest throws.
It wasn't.
The second one.
There we go.
If Chuck Wepner beat Muhammad Ali, we're not even talking about him as being one of the greatest, are we?
But he didn't beat him.
Okay, exactly.
So what?
But Eli beat Brady.
Was the first pass not lucky?
No.
Did Eli
skill?
Wait, Eli.
Did you see him avoid the
Eli
rush,
himself
step up and make a throw?
Wait a second. On Undisputed in Houston at this past Super Bowl, Eli sat right there and said, it was incredibly lucky. He closed his eyes and threw it as far as he could.
What did they call a pass play? So he intended to throw the ball.
He escaped like 4 sacks, and he has no mobility. I don't know how he did it.
Eli was nimble.
Did it not stick in Tyree's face mask?
Skip,
Eli what was Rodney Harrison doing? He just lost it.
Come on. Just an ounce. I want you to come clean today.
Okay? Come clean?
Yeah, come clean today.
About what?
When you watched Aaron Rodgers on Sunday, don't tell me that you thought to yourself,
put a crack in the door. He slammed the door. Ernestine
mad
at it. Right?
Ernestine and Hazel probably ran under the bed.
How do you know
did
that?
You break the door
off the hinge? Did I say that on
hinge?
Facebook? Maybe I said that on Facebook.
Did you break the door off the hinge because you were so mad?
Ernestine hadn't spoke to him in 2 days. Hazel won't even look at him when he comes home.
She will too. She loves me. Ernestine, another story. Hazel always loves me, no matter what.
Yeah, because you be getting her treats.
Yeah, I do.
You're not supposed to, Skip.
Yeah. I play chase with her. That's
Come on, Skip. Can you do me a discount
okay,
double check?
but how can I say this proved anything that I told you? I thought he'd throw for 400, and you're right. He just didn't have the ball long enough, although 221 with 25 minutes of possession, not great.
But they ran the ball for 130,
what about that 160?
Right?
What about that 160?
All of a sudden, who had the best rusher on the field, best runner on the field? Another Aaron Jones, UTEP. Who knew?
And that's what I've been trying to tell you. When Zeke is not that bell cow, your guy ain't winning.
Ain't winning, but my guy had a 97 QBR and was sensational. He threw 3 touchdown passes and ran for another one.
Let me ask you a question, Rob Parker. You the baseball guy.
Yes.
If a guy has 19 strikeouts, gives up a solo home run and a loss, what we talking about?
You lost the game.
Oh, he had a 97, but he took the L, and we talking about how good he played.
It's about the L.
Rob, if one pitcher has led his team to 5 World Series championships and another one to 1 World Series championship, and he has 1 ring, who's the better pitcher?
It ought to be, was he on the Yankees? Was he on the Yankees or was he on the Marlins?
Or wait a minute, did the pitcher have the other team scouting report?
Oh, yeah. It was stealing the signals.
One of those deals.
You see, hey, I can't, Skip. He's the greatest thrower in football.
How do you figure that Aaron Rodgers lost home games to Eli Manning? This is at Lambeau, home playoff games to Eli Manning and Colin Kaepernick.
Tom Brady lost playoff games to Flacco 2 years in a row. It should have been 3 if, what was that, the receiver had the ball?
Lee Evans.
Lee Evans.
His dad won the 68.
Right. It was Lee Evans. They should have beaten him 3 times in Foxborough.
You know what? I was hoping he bring up Aaron Rodgers' home loss to the Giants. defense gave up 37 points that day and gave up another 31 plus, gave up 30 plus to Colin Kaepernick, who went for 180.
Absolutely.
I was holding that. You know, Joe, I kept that. You know.
Did you see did you look up Aaron Rodgers' numbers against Colin Kaepernick? It was cold that day, but boy, Aaron was really cold that day.
What about his
You're the greatest thrower of the football
What
ever.
about his defense? What did his defense do?
It's always been just average.
Oh, okay.
But Clay Matthews for a while was really good. In that Super Bowl year, he was a dominant defensive
If
player.
Aaron
So
Rodgers had a great defense and a running back, he would.
Was Seymour any good? What about Ty Law? Rodney Harrison, Willie McGinnis, was any of those guys any good?
They're all, very good. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, dominant defensive players? I don't think so.
Better than what the Packers have had. If Aaron Rodgers has had, for the most part.
Yeah.
For the most
He's
part.
a transcendent talent. And you may never see a guy be able to throw the ball with the accuracy, both rolling to his left, from his right.
He's
from the
really
pocket.
good. I give you that.
No, not really good.
He's
Girl,
great.
you gonna talk about really
How
good.
about the play of the game? Because Mason Crossbar is going to be forced to make a 47-yard field goal under pressure after the Demons got a hold of his psyche when he missed the 2 first extra points.
Yeah.
And what happens? My guys screw up, and there's supposed to be 2 guys spying Aaron Rodgers, and they both take the back Aaron Jones. They take the wrong Aaron, who goes to the right, and leave the whole left flank
That
over
was
on
the decoy.
3rd and 8.
What kind of spy are you if you
They
take
took
the
the
decoy?
bait. They took the bait.
Shannon, you know what? We all missed this story because apparently Jerry Jones sold the Dallas Cowboys to Aaron Rodgers
go.
because the last 2
He
years
owns
he's
it.
owned them.
Oh, Skip.
I agree.
How much you pay? How
I
much you
agree.
pay?
That
You know
playoff
what?
game?
He deserves an honorary locker in the visitors' locker room. I give you that.
And Aaron Rodgers says, I'm going to continue to beat you until you do right by these players
Yep.
in the NFL. So until you do right by everybody, this is what's going to happen to you,
so
Jerry.
that was what was
Yeah!
happening. Okay, I got it. Way to go, Rob.
He's swaggerlicious, man.
You got
I'm
you got your objectivity back.
we go into the Oscars.
No mercy. Dwayne Wade's reunion with LeBron is in full swing. Ty Lue announced yesterday that Wade will start at shooting guard and replace J.R. Smith in the lineup. Wade scored 20 points in the Cavs' preseason loss on Friday night. We're joined once again by Rob Parker, but first, Shannon, what does this tell you?
Well, it tells me that Dwayne Wade is more situated for being a starting player. J.R. Smith has spent the bulk of his career coming off the bench. 2013, he was Sixth Man of the Year, and there was a stretch there, like for 6 years when he was with the Knicks and the Nuggets, that he only started 25 games over a 6-year period. J.R. Smith is accustomed to coming off the bench. And I think what has happened is that because the last 3 years we've seen J.R. Smith for the Cavaliers in the starting lineup. That's a very unconventional role for him. He was mainly a top reserve. Dwayne Wade has only come off the bench in his 14, 15-year career 9 times. So it tells me that J.R. Smith is accustomed to coming off the bench. He's more apt to be able to handle that type of a situation, and D. Wade is better being a starter. That's it. I mean, I'm not trying to read anymore, but when it's all said and done, J.R. Smith might play more minutes than D. Wade as a backup.
So it's just a symbolic. Is that what this is?
Yeah. Yeah, we trying to win it. We trying to hold up. Tristan Thompson's going to the bench also because this is a total shakeup. Kevin Love's going to center. LeBron's going to play the small forward. Jay Crowder's going to play the power forward. D Wade's the 2.
Tristan's coming off the bench.
Yeah.
Is he good with that?
He got no choice.
Uh-oh.
You making $15 million.
Says Shannon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look. I was out on him anyway. He did something he wasn't supposed to do, Joy. You know what he wasn't supposed to do. He got tangled up and now he about to be I'm happy that he happy. If he's happy, I'm happy he about to be a dad.
Yeah.
But that's bad. Woo!
You're giving us undercover reports.
But I don't really see a problem with it. At the end of the day, they're trying to find a lineup that when they face the Golden State Warriors, somehow Kevin Love's going to have to give them more than what he's giving them, especially when he goes against Draymond Green.
You know what I get from this? LeBron James has officially jumped the shark. Do you remember the episode where Fonzie is on the jet skis and he jumped over a shark in a leather jacket?
Yes.
And then you realize that Happy Days was ridiculous and it was all over and the show didn't matter? That's where we are with LeBron James. I don't get it. This is the same guy LeBron couldn't wait to run out on in Miami because he couldn't play. Now you're going to tell me that he's good enough to be a starting player. A lot of guys go to the bench later on in their career. It's not a knock on you. He's had a long career. He's older. It doesn't make any sense to me. This is LeBron James basically putting together Gary Coleman and Emmanuel Lewis when you talk about Derrick Rose together. This is the 2012 All-Star team. This is 2017, 2018. You're living in the past.
No.
This is LeBron James telling you he doesn't believe he can win.
He's going to win.
He doesn't believe he can win, and now he's just doing whatever.
So
none of this makes any sense. Derrick Rose doesn't make any sense, and neither does Dwayne Wade. It doesn't.
They needed a backup point guard, and they can't.
He's not a backup point guard. He's starting.
Because Isaiah Thomas is hurt.
Well, I'm just saying, when you look at these two guys and look at where the team is going, I just think LeBron has lost all sense of reality as far as where he is with this team. I think people are going to, if it wasn't the East, he wouldn't be playing these games. And I just realized that LeBron thinks we can do whatever we want because there's no one to really challenge us. Maybe the Celtics aren't ready to challenge them yet. Maybe a year from now it'll be totally different, but not yet. Yeah. Other than that, it makes no sense. Yeah. Dwayne Wade should be coming off the bench, not as a starter.
I agree with my friend Rob Parker, but only to a point. I agree that once upon a time, before LeBron was coming home, that he left Dwayne Wade, and Joy was there at the time, he just left Dwayne high and dry in Miami, and I was stunned by it. And I figured that bridge would be burned, or at least on fire, and apparently not. Because I guess on Dwayne's part, this was true brotherly love. Yeah. Because it looked like LeBron basically told Dwayne, you just can't help me enough anymore. Your knees are shot. Yeah. You're shot as a player, because remember, they're coming off getting blown off the floor by the Spurs in the finals by a record finals margin. And LeBron is saying, I need more help. And all of a sudden, they have reunited in Cleveland. And LeBron obviously runs the franchise and has decreed he will be in the starting lineup, whether it's ceremonial or whatever you want to call it. But he will. And this is where you and I part ways on this. I still have so much respect for Dwayne's intangibles, his character, his leadership. It's way beyond LeBron's as a leader.
Stop it.
It is. It's way beyond.
That's not what Scout said. That's not what the general manager said.
Father time always wins, Skip.
I got you.
You're living in the past,
but
even
you know
on
what?
Dwayne Wade.
Dwayne he averaged 18 a game last year at Chicago. Not terrible. He shot a career low 43% and shot the second most shots on the team to Jimmy Butler. But he scored 20 the other night in preseason game. He's still good enough at, what's he, 35 now? Yeah, he's 35. So they're both in their 15th year, but LeBron is 3 years younger.
The NBA general managers, by a wide margin, said LeBron James is the best leader in the NBA.
Baloney.
I'm just going by what they said.
Well, I'm just going by what I know and what I've seen. Dwayne taught LeBron everything he knows about winning. He did. Without Dwayne Wade.
He grew up with a single parent. He had to learn the hard way.
Please.
Stop it. That man's a natural-born leader. Natural-born.
Really?
Yeah.
I have not seen that because I hate to admit this, but I think Dwayne Wade will become the stabilizing force of what was a chaotic franchise last year in which the two stars on the team would not even speak to each other.
No.
One way or the other.
Hold on.
One had decided he wouldn't speak to the other.
No, hold on. Yeah. There's a difference. It was not two stars. There was a mega superstar and a star.
The star was the closer, so he was the more important player because all the big shots were taken by the star.
All I know is that people were calling, y'all trying to get rid of Bron? Y'all trying to get rid of Bron? No. They can't move Bron. They moved him. Moved him.
So will JR and Tristan remain happy all year long?
Yeah.
Maybe not.
They're going to be happy. JR happy.
But
Tristan will be happy.
To your point,
he gonna have
maybe Dwayne starts and plays 5 minutes, and then mid-first quarter in come the two other guys.
He played less than 30 when they were counting on him. Skip, I mean, look, if he can give them anything somewhere between 12 to 15 points and play somewhere between 25, 28 minutes, they gladly take that. But LeBron gonna win the MVP, so LeBron's gonna average 25, 10, and 7. So that's what we gonna do for you.
I just harken back to the Miami days, and I just look at it, and it just looks to me like for Dwayne Wade, he had nowhere else to go, no other situation. He had nowhere else to go. That's why.
Sure he did.
That's why he wound up in. He could have gone. He wouldn't go back to Miami because he wouldn't want to face Pat Riley, right? Who treated him a certain way and he wasn't happy with it. So he winds up going back, going with LeBron.
All these free agents that's supposed to be going down there, you know, he wanted Dwayne Wade to take less money so he can get Kevin Durant. And he wanted to sign all these guys that's coming available. Why isn't anybody down there? It's amazing when you had D. Wade, how you can get people to come down there.
Well, but you know what? And I blame D. Wade for when he took less money and signed that deal. Shame on him.
Yeah.
Because he's the one who did that and put himself in that situation. And you know what? When guys do that, they usually get screwed in the end. And that's what
not
happens.
usually, always.
Always, right. So he did that.
Just for the record, the Spurs did want Dwayne Wade,
Yes.
but you know what would have happened? He would have played 15 minutes
off the bench. Absolutely.
Well,
you know what?
He was offered a bench role in Miami also.
And he was.
So.
You know?
Well, because that's where he should be.
But what this really tells you is that LeBron never really left because he thought Wade was done for.
He left
I don't know if that's the case.
He left because he wanted control over a franchise, which he got in Cleveland.
Yeah, but I'm not totally sure about that.
He's starting this year in Cleveland. He's starting. That's what the story is.
I know.
So we thought his knees were shot 3 years ago, but now they're fine.
I think at this point he rescued his friend who was out there floundering, right?
Okay,
who
but
didn't want to be in Chicago. And you know what? Hey, bro, help me out, Skip.
Hey, Skip.
Help me out. I'm floundering. I need help.
I will
Help
say
me
that
out.
Derrick Rose and Dwayne Wade did excellent together last year in Chicago with that 31-win team. So.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. Join us again same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.